صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again to protect and be in the aid of our brothers and sisters in Palestine and everywhere else. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give shifa to those who are not feeling well in our community and make us always healthy and on the straight path. And may Allah protect us and our children, our families, and all of our Muslim brothers and sisters in the Muslim world, wherever they can be. We continue, inshallah, our talk about Surah Mulk. And we said yesterday, out of Allah's mercy, is that He explained and described how hellfire looks like. So this way, nobody would be saying it's a surprise or it's a shock or I didn't know it was going to be this way. We have a detailed description in the Quran about how hellfire looks like, how terrible this place is. So we really have no excuse if, God forbid, somebody ends up in there. And of course, we ask Allah always for His mercy and forgiveness. We do make mistakes. There is nobody who does not make a mistake. But there is a difference between those who do istighfar and those who do not. Those who do tawbah and those who do not. So the next ayah, yesterday we said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Or today we're going to say, تكاد تميز من الغيظ. Talking about hellfire. And we said yesterday that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us this picture of hellfire like something that is alive. It does breathe. Yesterday we said it has shahiq. It makes noise when it's breathing, like somebody who's angry. And ghayl is the highest level of anger, called ghayl. This is the anger that makes you do something. Because there are levels of anger. Sometimes you're a little angry, but you can keep it under control. Sometimes you can be very angry to a point that this anger is pushing you to do something. You know what I'm talking about? You're so angry, you just want to get up and do something about what's happening. Yeah, you want to go beat somebody up, right? So this is called ghayl. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Imran, وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ. Those who can suppress their anger. They get to this level of anger, but they can stop themselves from making this anger becoming action. Because you do something and then you regret. And I wish I didn't do that. I was very angry. So that's why we said the hadith that on the day of judgment Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will call this man ala ru'us al-ashhad, in front of everyone, and will give him that choice: take as many hur as you want, which means any level of Jannah. What did he do? He suppressed his anger when he was able to do something about it. Because sometimes you're angry, very angry, but you know, if I'm gonna go start a fight with this guy, he will beat me up. So I better control my anger. I'm gonna forgive him for the sake of Allah. We have no other choice. So, but when you are stronger or you have more fame or authority or power, if you want to hurt this person, you can. But then you say, I will forgive him for the sake of Allah. This is a kadhimin al-ghayz. Now for hellfire will not suppress its anger. It's not made to do so. Hellfire is made to take its anger out on the enemies of Allah. So takadu tamayyazu. Tamayyazu means, the original verb is tatamayyazu, but when there is two ta, normally they get mixed together. Tamayyazu is when something is going to be broken apart. You know what, you're so angry, you want to say, I'm gonna rip my clothes off. So you just want to, like the Hulk. He always breaks his clothes. So this is the tamayyazu. Someone who's so angry is going to be tearing his clothes apart to get out of this anger. The same thing, hellfire is about to break itself apart because of this anger. And like we said, it's not going to suppress its anger, it's going to take this anger out. تكاد تميز من الغيظ كلما ألقي فيها فوج. We say كلما للتكثير, which means a lot of times. Every time, فوج, a group. And we mentioned before, it is rare for someone to enter Jannah or hellfire individually. It's always groups. Because on the day of judgment, everybody will be grouped up with the people who are right, Zumara, yani groups. Fawj, Fawj, to say we are Fawj, Going to Hajj, normally they use this word, fawj, a group of people who have something in common. They came from the same country. They call them fawj, right? Those people came from this country, those people come. So the same thing on the Day of Judgment, everybody will be put in the group where they belong. Good people together, bad people together, people who were good in salah together, people who used to go to Masjid Bilal together, inshallah, inshallah, and people who used to do zakat together, يعني, and of course, at the same time, people who disobey Allah in a certain way will be put together. So they will be thrown one group at a time in hellfire. سألهم خزنتها. The angels of hellfire are called خزنتها. And this is interesting because the angels of Jannah are not called خزنتها. Why? Because khazana comes from khazina, and khazina is like a safe, something you don't want to get out. Now, people of Jannah, who wants to get out of Jannah? You don't need guards to keep people inside Jannah. But hellfire, that's why the angels of hellfire are called khazanatuha, to keep the people inside, those who want to run away. Of course, they cannot run away, but that's why they're called khazanatuha. But people, the angels of Jannah, they're not called khazanatuha. So, سألهم خزنتها ألم يأتكم نذير. Did you not get a warner? Nobody told you about this. How did you end up in here? So this is out of shock. There is a hadith, the hadith is a little weak, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will even tell those angels, don't talk to them. Those people, you don't talk to them. But because the angels are so surprised, they are in shock. How can you know about this place and you still end up there? So this is really interesting that the people of, the angels of hellfire are not supposed to talk and they're not supposed to smile. They say Angel Malik, the one who is keeping hellfire, he never smiled since Allah created him because that's not his job. His job is not to smile. So they will be asked, how did you end up here? You did not get a warner? And they will answer, inshallah, we'll talk about that next time. Bala, we did get a warner. There's really no excuse. So may Allah save us from hellfire. And again, when we read about these ayat, we remember that is it worth it to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? A small pleasure in the dunya. And even when we obey Allah, we get more pleasure in the dunya, not only in the akhirah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد